right, let's get started with some preachers, which normally I wouldn't start with because heavy preachers, I mean, this is kind of a bicep, freaky movement, freaking Terror City. But the fact that I'm going so light, I think it's a good squeezing starter. And I'm not going crazy here. At least not weight-wise. Set-wise is another matter. Yeah. All right, two more of those. One more. Then let's grab some dumbbells or something. I'm thinking all buys, then all tries. That'll be the plan for tonight. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. See. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's. This is what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah, let's go get some dumbbells started. I've got a post lift discussion to discuss, but that'll be for the end. The 14s, except not exactly. You know what I mean? It's in kilos over here. One more of those. All right, shit. Actually, I think one more, and then that'll be it. We can start some triceps. There we go. All right. No need to go heavy on the rope. Even though this is a stack, this is very doable. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And one more. And then I'll change it up. Yeah. Yeah. This will be good. Light. If I go too heavy, this would crank my elbows. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, that's everything. Let's pose down. All right, I am certainly on the more humid side of watery, but post show plus post flights, just kind of flying around, to be expected. Arm pump wise, this is absolutely diabolical. Like to the point where even just bending my arm in to get my shirt off feels crazy. I mean, shit, I feel like I don't even recognize myself in the mirror walking around with arms this pumped. Like this is not just mere magic either. Obviously sometimes that is at play, which is something to consider. But no, I think this is full on just freaking insanity. So let's see how we're looking. Let's run through a few shots here. May as well just start with a little front muscular. Oh my goodness. The pump speaks for itself at that point. Christmas tree still visible. Okay. Like, I seriously feel like something is gonna pop when I flex my biceps. I don't know what they are around right now. And this is extra inflated from just like general inflammation and water retention. But even if that wasn't the case and I was just carved up, like this is just fucking crazy. But let's get back to the crib and then have a little bit of a post lift something. I mean, yeah, shit. Just standing, this is nuts. I'm most certainly in the honeymoon phase of the bulk. That's for sure. And it hasn't really properly even begun. All right, there we go. Yeah, we are in frame. 30 minutes of cardio has been completed. And I tell you something, big thanks to these guys over at Gold's Gym Siena. They stayed open for an extra hour. So I was here last year on because I was up here visiting. And if I'm already in the UK, well, I may as well come back, make a little bit of a return trip. And this gym is like fucking, I think dense is the word. It's not as, big as like a full-on LA Fitness or anything, but just the fact that it's right in center city, you just get to walk up and then boom, all this old school smooth freaking equipment. It's very nice. But getting into, what I was kind of saying, that set of preacher curls, I was kind of laughing to myself like, oh, that's what this is supposed to feel like. Yeah, this is, that's a feeling that I really want. I hate, and hate is a strong word. I don't mean hate, but I don't love coming into the gym knowing, all right, I'm going to pull back a little. I'm going to go light squeezing, back work, just get a pump and then do an hour cardio and do an hour cardio at night and then come back home. I have no aversion to cardio, of course. I just finished my 30 minutes 2 days after the show, or I guess 3 days after the show. Like cardio is a non-negotiable. And that's not even the point. I reap the benefits of the cardio. Like I want to do it. But when it comes to the training, yeah, these last 6 months, let's just say the word tame is a very accurate description. And it's kind of just the nature of dieting for that long, for the purpose of like a full-on bodybuilding show. It's just what you got to do, man. Don't hurt yourself. Get enough to get a squeeze and actually like maintain your size. And that's the end of it, But that's not, I don't think that's what I'm wired for. What I'm really wired for is to come in and go freaking nuts to the point where I don't even have the sensation of, or the thought bubble in my head. Okay, that's about right. I shouldn't do any more. It's going to be too much. I never want to do a set and think, oh, this is going to be too much. Now, that's not to say I'm just going to instantly try to squat 6 plates or bench 4 plates. Objectively, I need to build my strength back up before I can do that. Like, sure, maybe I come in and I feel strong. My chest hasn't lifted that much weight for months. I haven't put that much weight on my back for months. I can't just go straight into it. So I'm going to work my way up, of course. But I love the feeling of knowing that every set, the point isn't, okay, just reach a certain threshold of intensity and then you're good. No, I want to reach a new I want to hit the freaking barrier of my intensity that I can even get to and then go a little bit further. Like I want every set to feel like it's unending because I'm just going to keep trying to do fucking partials, at least for most of my regular, like straight up working sets to failure, because the only thing I'm trying to do is get to the point where my muscle simply cannot activate any further. Now, as a beginner, it's going to take a while to kind of work up to that, which is just the nature of things. I'm much better at reaching real failure now than I was as like a 16-year-old. I was, working my way up. I still trained hard as a beginner, but I think now I can get to the point where in one set, I can do a substantial amount of good damage to my biceps just because I'm not going to let the pain of like, oh, it's kind of starting to sting, or like, oh, it's kind of getting hard. Like I'm going to fight through that as much as I can. And I just got a little bit of a glimpse of that feeling today. Honestly, the pump actually kind of impeded the workout a little bit, especially for triceps, because I could have done more work. But by the time I did that 5th set of the overhead extension, it's like, what the hell else am I supposed to do? My triceps are already so swollen. I feel like they're going to pop out the back of my arms. But no, this is going to be a good week. I'm going to get some food in my system just from walking around and drinking regular fluids and a regular amount of calories. It's still more than dieting, but semi-regular. I'm not going crazy, 10,000 calories every day. I should get back to normal. But yeah, so if you were kind of curious, what's next? It's like, Sam, you just dieted for 6 months straight. Like you put a ton of time into these 2 shows. It's like, what are you supposed to do now? They're over. And I mean, that's kind of just how it is, Like don't, you should never try to get too attached to one specific moment in time or one specific kind of accomplishment, because there really is no arriving. It's only a becoming. So rather than try to like highlight like one specific moment in time, I think the cool shit that you can really look back on is just having a whole, basically, in your mind kind of booklet of really cool moments that you've just accrued gradually. So these competitions were some pretty cool fucking moments. but there's still more to come. You know what I'm saying? And size-wise, I think in the mirror right there is only a little bit of a glimpse, because that's, you know, full carved up, pumped, but it's also extra watery. So my arm day in like, you know, I'd say 2 weeks, maybe by the end of the week, should look substantially different than that, because a lot of this subcutaneous water and kind of not exactly bloatedness, because my stomach feels slim. Like I can still pull a vacuum, but I'm just I'm just holding a ton of water right now. By the time all that's kind of funneled off, we'll get back to that kind of drier, grainier look while still being full of carbs like a freaking freak. So, you know, not to say freaking freak, but you get what I'm kind of getting at. So yeah, show's over, and now it's time to pivot back into a calorie surplus, pivot back into you know, I don't want to say hating, but calling out the guys who are having trouble putting food down. Look, I tell you something, I've been very dieting focused with all these talks and all these tips that have been thrown out there. Now it's time to start pulling out some bulking hacks. It'll be a while before I really have to, you know, pull out all my tricks, because I got to start with just a minor surplus, at least on average, and work my way up from there. So in a few months, it'll get to the point where it's like, all right, getting food down is a challenge. Let's start busting out the oatmeal rice, or the oatmeal beef. Let's start busting out the protein shake blended with cereal. Let's start busting out the, you know, the mystery meal that I haven't even discussed yet because it's kind of crazy. Little things like that. But yeah, this is already shaping up to be a freaking big ass year, and March isn't even over. It's about to be over, you know. I guess technically it's it's over in a freaking hour, but either way, I think more to come is a very good description. So I'll come up with some kind of title. Who freaking knows? But I'll see you tomorrow.